Oh, I got to turn this off. Well, hello, sports fans. I know what you're thinking. This isn't surface noise, and you're right. This is college football has not been very entertaining today, and so I thought it'd be fun just to pop up. Maybe some people will join, maybe some people won't join. But hey, I can't get surface noise. As we said that we weren't going to be around for a couple weeks, and that's true. But then I was watching some videos and some live streams, and it's like you need the quick hit. Not really, but like I said, the college football has been pretty weak today. It's been pretty weak. I don't know, the playoffs. I love the playoff idea, but boy, it is. I mean, Indiana. Hello, I know. People mostly watch this channel for records, and we're going to talk records in a second. But Indiana, I think it's going to be Indiana and Ole Miss if they win today. I know they're playing right now, but let's see who's in the chat, because the chat is the lifeblood of any live stream. BK, hello. Thank you for answering the call. I know it's an impromptu, so I'm not expecting much. Just was going to talk some records, maybe tell some stories. How about some stories? Because there are stories that sometimes don't make surface noise that, I don't really do videos too much anymore. So I think it's apropos. Russell's here. Hello. Fluff Master General. Hello. Oh, Michael Tedder. Come on, man. Come on. Listen, we may talk about that. We may. And we may not. I don't know. I don't want to bore people, but aloha, my man. How's it going? Well, like I said, thank you for subscribing, Big Ian. Need it, want it, asking for it. What a treat. What a treat. Actually, you know what, Ian? Since this is there's no guardrails, you know what I'm going to do? Watch this. You ready? Boom. Because I know who you are, I think. Boom. Wonderful. Oh, Catherine is here. Hello, Catherine. How are you? Welcome, Catherine. So what's funny is usually we've got the background, and if you've ever been on any of these panels, I don't know if you can see it if you're a guest, but it shows how many people are watching. And it goes, I guess StreamYard's really jacking with me. It's going from 0 to 20 to all kinds of stuff. So let's see. Oh, Dad, hello. This is my father. Another wonderful story. Maybe we'll get into this story. This is Dana Kimbowitz. Mistakenly, actually, I'll just tell the story. Kimbo met up with me, I think it was last year or 2 years ago. Get older, you forget this stuff. And we went to the Pearl Jam concert in Chicago, did some record shopping, all that stuff. So we're enjoying the show at Wrigley Field. And the young lady, and I think her new husband or fiance, sitting next to us, asked Mr. Kimbowitz, sitting next to me, if I was his son. This was a father-son bonding experience. And obviously we are related. I mean, he has a beautiful head of hair and I don't. So that would have been the first call out. But anyway, my surrogate father, since mi papa is muerta, there could be worse people you could be confused for. So, all right, Russell, what do you got? You won't forget. All right, won't regret wrenching Big Ian. Big E Ian. Help me with the name. Is it Ian or Big E, or what do you want to be called? Yeah, Kimbo, she is dead to me. Nice girl. I think actually, you know what? Kimbo actually got a koozie. She felt so bad for mixing up her genealogies that she got Kimbo a koozie, an official Pearl Jam koozie. You know what I got? Nothing. I got nada, zip, nada. So I think she was a little fancying you. I think she was hoping for maybe a paternal influence in her life. Oh, Catherine, this is terrible. I'm sorry to hear this. I hope it's nothing serious, especially this time of the year. I've seen a couple people, obviously there's some people out there having some health issues, and I'm not making light of that at all. Some people have had some loss. Here's another health issue. It's tough in them streets. So Catherine, I hope your dad pulls through and does well. Thanks for the wrench, Big E or Ian. All right. Beautiful. Look at this guy. Here's the newest live stream star, host of the Audio Quest. This is David Bianco. David, if you want to come up, I can throw you a bone, or you can just sit back and watch in your comfy clothes, in your pajamas, because there are no rules. The only rules are there are no rules. Eddie Jazz fan, hello, happy New Year to you, sir. Appreciate you. Well, what should we talk about? It's like Cody Rhodes. What do you want to talk about? So part of the motivation, inspiration for this was been watching some videos, and people are doing like their record pickups and 2025. What did I get? My top. And I thought about doing that, but videos, I don't know. I still do the eBay video once a month to feed the algorithm, but quite honestly, I think live streams are just so much easier. Vinyl Piper, hello. I hope this live stream meets your satisfaction. I know you like options, so I hope this quenches your thirst for record talk. Happy New Year to you too. Oh, no John Bond carrying. Yeah, Chris from Record Talk. Like you're losing status in my favorite Nebraskans. You're losing status. You were climbing. It was kind of like the Price is Right, Yoda Leahy game, the yodeler, and it's going back down. I don't know what's going on. Happy New Year, Doctor. Thank you. Hope you're doing well, sir. Andy G. Hello. Welcome. Cesar, the executive producer. This is a new title. Executive producer of Surface Noise. Cesar, good evening. Alex from Beer and Vinyl, hello. What can I be? The crazy little woman in this one man. You can listen. If you want the link of power, Alex, I'll send it to you. We got to do these things behind the scenes because there's so many naysayers and the Bleach Boys and Masturbation Men, all these weirdos. I mean, fortunately, the guy who apparently jumps behind stage on some of these live streams, Sans Pant, is not hasn't made his way here. So if you'd like a link, and I know you, I have media, I have ways to get the information to you, and we can have a hearty back and forth. Loki Tio, look at this. This is unbelievable. I won't stay because I'm afraid of what might happen. Also, it's early morning. Have a good one. Loki, you have a good one too. So watching these videos, what the records people are picking up, it's really fun. It's exciting stuff. Some records, some cool records, some records I have, some I don't have, some I'm curious to check into. But I wasn't sure if I'd just do like an Instagram photo. Like I think Dom did this. He just did like a 9. He did a nice Brady Bunch scenario, did it on the floor, like avant-garde. And he did his top 9 pickups. But then I started going through, like, it's been a good year. I got to be honest. At Concert Buddy headquarters, it's been good. Been very, very baseball. Been very, very good to me. Record collecting been very, very good to me. So I'm going to show some records, a couple stories. Again, if anyone wants to come on, I will gladly send you a link. This is very impromptu, very freestylish. I know some people don't like the freestyle name, but hey, it's free. And it is. All right, Eddie, what is there a 2025 whole year count for John Bong F-bomb? See, this is the problem, Eddie, is we didn't start measuring that analytic until Q4, maybe Q3. And so we don't have the full year data set. So I apologize, but consider 2026 our first full year of capturing F-bombs from John Bong. T-shirt pending. So maybe I'll show some records and then I can do some story time. Now, first thing I'll talk about, let's do story time. So this over here, Concert for George, as I'm breaking shit. So Concert for George box set. So it's been interesting. The last few weeks, some dead stock opportunities have popped up. And when dead stock opportunities, it's just warehouse finds. Now, this isn't the only one. This is a box set of I think it's 2002 concert tribute for George Harrison after he passed away. I think the box set came out maybe 2016, if I'm thinking correctly. Anyway, this thing goes for like silly money. It's been on my list, but the odds and the reality of getting this and paying for that there's a big divide. So I want to say maybe a month ago, Brandon McRandomson got an email from Kraft, the label Kraft Recordings, saying that there was a warehouse find, air quotes, and they had a limited amount of these box sets at a, let's call it reasonable price. Not, I would say maybe it's 25% of market value. If you want to go to Discogs, look it all up, all that. So I couldn't believe my good luck. Grab this. And actually what's really cool about this is under this is actually a piece of the tapestry that was on stage when they performed that night. So each box set has a unique piece of the tapestry that Clapton, McCartney, Ringo Starr, all these artists, Ravi Shankar, etc. So anyway, a lot of fun. Warehouse find. But that wasn't the only, it was kind of crazy because a few days before that, something happened that usually doesn't happen to me. I usually miss these kind of things. And another warehouse find presented itself, something I didn't even know what it was. And through the course of discovery, which is great about this goofy hobby of ours, is learning new stuff. Because, shocker, you don't know everything. I know some people out there think they know everything or pretend to know everything. I'm earnest about it. I don't know what I don't know. So another warehouse find was this record. Now, this is the Coupe de Villes. It's called Waiting Out the 80s. Now you're saying, who in the F are the Coupe de Villes? This is a question I had too, because this kind of came in one of my social media feeds, warehouse find. And so if you look real closely, this guy may look familiar. Let's see if the gallery can represent this. Look at that feather. This is like a Vidal Sassoon kind of haircut. Like this is like a blow. I think they call it a blowout. And of course, the power of the mustache. When you have a lip sweater like this, you can't be fucked with. It is unbelievable. Daydream vinyl, you got it. It's legendary John Carpenter, who is kind of moonlights as a musician. He's also, besides making some really crazy horror movies and movies in general, he makes music. He actually, I think, did the original theme to the original Halloween movie, et cetera, et cetera. This is last place answer, not Phil Collins. Phil Collins would probably be about this tall. Anyway, so in my social media feed comes this thing, Warehouse Find. This was an album that John Carpenter basically did by himself, but these were some collaborating partners of his who helped him with some instruments he wasn't really profound with. He was actually making the movie Big Trouble in Little China. So think about like 1985, 86. And as he was doing the soundtrack score for that movie, he just had like a creative burst. And so he wanted to make like an album. So he did. And they did it under this band name, the Coupe de Villes. And so what does it sound like? Well, it's a lot of synth. It's synth-driven, synth-heavy, like kind of pop characteristics. But think about anything you've heard, even like the Halloween 3 soundtrack. So there's a lot of that kind of sound, even though he wasn't intimately involved with that movie, and that's like the non-Michael Myers movie. It's pretty fun. And the title track, Waiting Out the 80s, is actually kind of fun. This is something you can't find on streamers. I think it's on YouTube. That's where I sampled it because I'm like, yo, don't know what this is. But I love a good story of, hey, we just found these. Because the urban legend was there was only 150 of these made. Whether or not that's true or not, I think it's probably not, because they just found a bunch of these. And so they were going through, again, social media posts. So they had 3 tiers. You could you could just buy the record, which is what I did. You could buy the record just autographed by these 2 cats, which I don't know why you'd want. Or you can get the autograph, or you can get, I think, all 3 of them. Or you can get, there's maybe 4. Maybe it's just John Carpenter. Anyway, point being, I just got the record. And actually, they went through this box that they found in a random warehouse in a random place somewhere. And they were checking, make sure the records weren't warped, etc. So I give them a lot of credit. Mine had a little, you probably can't see it, a little seamer in the middle. But anyway, I just found it very interesting that in the matter of what's called a week to 10 days, there were 2 of these warehouse finds that one had been on my radar. This Concert for George, I mean, again, look it up. It's like, it's Monopoly money kind of stuff. Never thought I'd get this. It was maybe I would find it or trade for it at some point. And yeah, John Carpenter, it's a great story. I love stories as part of building my collection and discovering new music. So really happy to add that one to the Concert Buddy record library. All right, let's catch up on some of this. Yeah, hey, Arsenal's here. Good evening, Vidal Sassoon. I mean, I don't have my lettuce anymore up top, but I know what a good shampoo looks like. It's not a Suave situation or what's that one, Blue Rain or something. Like, you can tell when the kids would come to school with the Frosted Flakes, you knew they weren't using the good shampoo, right? Or if they were maybe not using any shampoo. So it is Russell S. Is Mink DeVille in the Coupe de Villes? Mink DeVille? I don't think so. I think it's Russell, I'm really disappointed you didn't know this. So it's John Carpenter, the immortal Nick Castle, and then Tommy Lee Wallace. So when Tommy Lee Wallace isn't helping make music, he's running for Senate in Alabama, or he's a serial killer, because serial killers usually have 3 names. So unfortunately, not Mink DeVille. But listen, you never know. You never know who's out there. So anyway, that was kind of fun. I thought about doing a video about that, but again, to sit down, it's so much. Again, freestyle. It's just easier just to kind of tell these stories. Record Talk Chris, let's see, can you earn back some of that social proof? The guy in the middle is Cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers. You know what? That's actually a pretty good call out. I prefer Balky from Mipos, but Cousin Larry was the epitome of a good straight man. I can appreciate that comment, so thank you. Let's see hey, Art just had a birthday. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. Don't sue me if I don't remember exactly, Art. So happy birthday. Hope you're well. Hope things are good in North Carolina. Are you a Duke or Carolina guy? This could be really important to the future of our friendship. So let me know in the comments below. Are you a UNC or are you a Duke guy? And you could be safe like Elliot Cruz and say NC State, and then I give you, or Wake Forest, the Tobacco Road schools. I can give you a pass. Mark Boyd, good evening. Happy New Year to you. Eddie, okay. Eddie says, I once had an old beat-up 1993 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Okay. I like how you tied in what I just prepared. I dig it. Final Piper says, did you write out all your New Year's resolutions? No. I do believe, and I made the little bootleg thumbnail, call it day one or one day. It's one of my favorite quotes because usually it's tied to New Year's resolutions. I use it, or I try to imply it with just doing things that you keep putting off or being petulant about, or just, either it's day one, it's the start of something new, you're building toward a goal or an ambition, or it's one day you just keep putting it off. So actually there's a project, I don't know if I'll talk about it, but me and some local VC dignitaries are kind of undertaking right now that maybe I'll talk about when the time is right, but that's kind of the theme of what we're going for, and good fellowship, supporting each other, that kind of stuff. So maybe I'll talk about that. Bobby Gass, my guy. Happy New Year to you, sir. It's always a pleasure to see. I think George Borden's been a machine. He's been live streaming. I think I popped on a couple days ago because I was just so inspired. Because I like those guys. I like George a lot. Mazzy was on there. Jefferson. I like those guys. And we were talking to politicals, which I don't really do too much publicly because that's a very divisive thing. But, anytime you can be branded a lefty, why not? I think I was actually harder on the lefties and that side of the fence than talked about the other side. But anyway, I enjoy those guys immensely. BK, Tommy Lee Wallace also appeared on a CD called, Molly Wobbly's Tit Factory. Fun fact. See, Paul, you want to be an executive producer of Surface Noise? We need this kind of stuff while we're live. We need these kind of details to keep the show going. Good evening, Brian, Tokyo Brian. By the way, in case anybody doesn't know, it's the year of the horse, reporting from Asia. Somebody told me last year was the year of the snake. Is that true? Because I'm not really keen on my zodiac. And if it was, it makes a lot of sense, because the year of the snake, think about a snake, you're shedding skin, you're shedding relationships. This is this thing I read. And I thought more about it, and I was like, wow, that's very apropos, because there are, unfortunately, a couple of situations that presented themselves that I realized probably not for me. And you can draw your own conclusions to some of those if you'd like. But yeah, I didn't know it. So year of the snake, it's a changing, a pivot, shedding skin. Year of the horse, a year of strength, unbridled passion. I think that's what it was. So indeed. Oh my gosh. Speaking of our secret project, hello, speaking of North Carolina, this is the mayor of North Carolina. You're not the mayor of the VC like Steve Carlson, Dylan, but I can give you mayor of North Carolina. I can give you a serfdom if you want to take that. I'll give you both Carolinas. You want both Carolinas? You can have dominion over both Carolinas. So yes, more to come. Maybe we'll make this public. I don't know. It's a fun little project that some of us middle-aged dudes really need to undertake. Draw your own conclusions. Art, what do you got? I watched Clemson, but when I lived in Florida, I followed the Seminoles, but I'm more of a baseball guy. Go Yanks. Okay. That was a nice, safe answer. But if your life depended on it, are you a Duke or Carolina guy? Let's see what you say. Oh, the VC Cowboy. What the heck was the other night with George Borden? I'm no MAGA Trumpster, but the word comes to mind. Mazzy had a visible erection. Well, Robert, I don't know if Mazzy had an erection. I wasn't looking for that, but hang on a second. I think you were right, Robert. I think you were correct. I think there was. Oh, thank you, Vinyl Popper. Appreciate that. Yes. Yeah. Listen, I love engaging anybody, even people who are of similar ilk from that side of the fence, or people who are not, because I think you learn the most by really stretching out not what you know, and then also what you don't know, and working together. Because listen, I'm not running for office yet, but if I were, I would say we're Americans first, and then maybe we're our political party second. But anyway, I just would like my potholes to be fixed in my roads, and I don't know, maybe not. Oh yeah, hello. Listen, you have been killing it on the mornings. Now I know some people. You've been doing a great job, Mr. Rob, of not all talking about jazz. So I want to commend you on that. And your co-host, are you giving Mazzy any money at this point? Because Mazzy is there. I think he's replaced Jim. Jim's coming in and out, but I think it's time to start drawing up contracts. Brian says, yes, that is true. The year of the snake. I knew it. And before that was the year of the dragon. Oh, fuck yeah. So that would have been 2024. Unbelievable. Alex Dickey, hello. See, there you go. Listen, we have assets. Actually, in the process of moving, we're building a what do they call it? A collaboration, a consortium. So I'm going to be leaving this particular StreamYard studio and taking up residence somewhere else. More to come on that. Grasshopper. I picture more of a Steven Seagal type of sensei, and that's you don't have like the crazy beard, but like in an Aikido. Like replace like that the track jacket you have with like a full-fledged like a kimono. Is that, Brian, help me out. I don't know my my garb titles from across the pond in the land of the rising sun. Help me out. All right, Paul. Think I'm about to get in trouble with the wife. I'm cranking some Iranian folk music and the crazy horn. Well, listen, that's on you, Paul. I can't give you any advice because I just don't have Iranian folk music in the repertoire. Hello, Professor CJ. How you doing, sir? Yes. Does Aikido require an additional 100 pounds? Dude, listen, if you go back to Steven Seagal back in the 80s, lean, mean fight machine. He was losing it up top, which I would never give anybody trouble. That's why he had to slick that back. But nobody, like there's that one scene, I think it was from Marked for Death, where he's like Carl Lewis. He runs through like a several city blocks at like probably a 800 yard dash clip to catch somebody, like a drug dealer. There's always drug dealers because he's always breaking arms and breaking up drug dealers. Love it. Maybe Hakama. I think that's fair. The studio, is this that Apple show? I've tried to watch this. Seth Rogen's he's a hard one for me to really give a lot of time with, but the studio, I think Catherine O'Hara's on that. She's not good. Don't get me started on his running. Hey, it's better in his dancing. So you had Steven Seagal running and his very interesting running style, a really interesting gait, how he put one foot over the other. And then you got Jean-Claude, JCVD. Every movie, he had to have some kind of dancing. He just had to. He was a great dancer. Chris asked, will there be Iranian folk music vinyl tag? Good question. Vinyl tag. That's another thing I see that's really causing a lot of heartburn out there in the VEE-CEE. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not for it. I appreciate it, and I think it's great whenever you can go through your records and talk about them, and especially for newer channels as a vehicle to put yourself out there. I've done a couple when Rob Walker was running them. I did them. They seemed a little bit more organized. I think last year there was a lot of there was no handoff. You know what I mean? It's like a relay race, and Rob Walker had the baton, and nobody really took it. So then I think the gentleman, Green-Eyed Eagle, I forget, I don't know his channel. I don't know the gentleman real well, but he picked it up, and then it started before January. And I guess David Atkinson's doing it this year, and it started again before January. And I don't want to get into that stuff. There's better stuff. There's better ways to spend your time than worrying about internet stuff like that, guys. But Professor asks, Iranian folk sounds like that goes hard. Hard in the paint. Hard in the paint. I like it. BK, it's just standard issue stunty stream Iranian music. Well, if we've all learned anything from a stunty stream, is that you will hear things you have never heard in your life. You'll hear music you can murder people to. You'll hear music you can make love to, sound effect music. You'll hear music that keeps the authorities away. It's a very diverse stream, and I've tried to dip in there a couple times, but some of the Bleach Boys like to take residence there, so it's not really my scene. Let's see, who else? Oh, hang on a second. Chasing Records. Hello, Chase. Happy New Year. I'm not hanging around for Iranian folk music. All right, listen, I'll go back to more record talk. You want story time, or do you want some records? Let's talk about, because I hate doing absolutes. So doing like a top 10 pickups, I'm just going to do like a top 10-ish. How about that? Does that work for everybody? I think so. Let's try that. Okay, so I showed this one. Oh, man, this was fun. Don Blackman, or OG of the Don Blackman, self-titled. Come on. Now, Vinyl Me Please did this, I think, the year before last, and did a great job with it. Listen, Vinyl Me Please, when they had their shit together, when it was good, it was good. But this OG is like it's a 400 clip all day, any day. I did not pay that. I paid about 40% of that. But, man, if you want some great funk music, because I think Don had some connections to the Parliament or Funkadelic. I forget which iteration, probably Funkadelic at that point. This will funk you up. This is amazing shit. And I'm not doing these in order, so this isn't like number 10. Like, I'm not doing a countdown. I'm just I just grabbed my stack, talk about some cool shit I picked up this year. And this one was a lot of fun. I actually got this one online purchase, but I actually got talking with the seller. I think it was eBay. I forget where I got this. And they actually clued me into a couple other things, one of which I think I'll probably end up showing. But, man, under market. And, you always find them. They got the stupid cutoffs. So this one, I don't know. Does this one have a hole punch? No. So this one's complete. I really try to get the ones with the four corners. But anyway, if you can find any early 80s on this tan Arista label, go for it, because this is where it's at. So love that. But, yeah, that was like an all-timer, Vinyl Me Please. Like, they really got their shit done, so I really appreciate that. So if Rob's here, I know Rob is a huge Enrique Iglesias fan. So, Rob, this is for you. Obviously, I know you love Anna Kournikova, Mrs. Enrique Iglesias. 1999, I think this is when this came out. Yeah, 1999. This was a great pop record when it came out. I mean, some of the great songs. The Rhythm Divine, I think, to me, top track. That's the first song. Let's see what else is on. Oh, you're my number one. By Lamos. Whew. Love it. Anyway, never see this. Does anyone, if you've seen this at a record show or record store, let me know. I've never seen this in the flesh. One of my local shops, Dead by X, shout out to Jeremy and Jake. They've been kind of pruning a collection from a local DJ. I guess he moved here. He's not really local. He lives here now. And he's got sick stuff. Like, it's unbelievable. So I've been slowly clipping off different pieces. And this one came up, and I couldn't have ran down there fast enough. I couldn't have Baila-most. I know that means we dance. I couldn't have Baila-most my ass down there fast enough. And this was in shrink, but if Arnaldo was watching, he'd appreciate this. He'd appreciate the fact that it had shrink but no hype sticker, and you just rip that off. You just rip them. Oh, no, guys, I can't believe this. This is unbelievable. Kimbo, Dad, don't. He said, I've never seen it. I don't want to. Come on. How many guys can pull off a face mole like this? Come on, Dad, rethink that. Rethink that approach. Rethink that. Oh, no. Yes, Professor, I could be your hero. It's not on. I don't think it's on this one. Oh, Bobby. We just lost Bobby Gass. Oh, no. Bobby, I'm sorry. Bobby, had I known, I wouldn't have shown that record. The last thing I want to do is lose you, Bobby. Maybe I'll get you back with some of this. Stick around. Put me on probation. Can you put me on probation? Old indie rocker, hello. Somewhere Jose is dropping multiple F-bombs over the Enrique album. That's why I wanted to show it in a safe space, because the last thing I wanted to do was piss off John Bong. You have to understand, we're currently in deep contract negotiations, and the last thing I want to do is do anything that would upset him and place him in the arms of another live stream. So I think I didn't get any Jimi Hendrix this year. I think 2 years ago I got the can I say this loud? It's after hours, right? The titty cover. I got the titty cover, but that was a couple years ago. So don't have it on me. Shh, don't have it on me, but I have it. All right, let's see if I can show a Bobby Gass approved record. Oh shit. Now, this isn't like a top pickup, but it is a cheap heat. Now, Bobby, you should know this. This is a Canadian band. Are you familiar with The Hunt? First of all, look at this fucking album cover. Can you imagine? Oh, the light is terrible. Look at this album cover. This dude is deep camo. This is like some Rambo shit right here with his bow and arrow, and he's about to kill. This is like a early 80s bad horror movie where all the women have to be topless at some point. It's like in the contract. But Grant's Rock Warehouse talked about this album. He played it, and it was like, I had never heard of these dudes. The Hunt, the Thrill of the Kill. What a great name. And so put it on my list to check it out. Again, he only played one song. It's on Passport Records. Bobby, are you familiar with Passport Records? I'm sure it was a powerhouse up there up north, Canadian band. But for like, this is like a $10, this is like cheapy, I'd call it. This shit is great value. And it's like, I don't know, like if you're thinking of early 80s when they're adding wrestling, when they're entrance music to the wrestling, when the wrestlers are coming out, this shit would have been perfect for like Lex Luger, maybe beautiful Bobby Eaton, one of those type of cats. This shit's pretty good for $10. Malaya, I know you like that metal. I don't know if I call this metal. May I call a little like between hair metal and metal, but this is some cheap heat. But Bobby, hopefully I got you back. This is a Canadian band. Hopefully I got you back on that one. Did I get that at Bass Pro Shop? No, but that would be a fucking great idea if Bass Pro Shop could work a collaboration with that band. And that's insane. How much did the Hunt? Hello, oh, it's Darren. Hey, how much did that Hunt LP cost? I think I paid $8. $8. It was one of my not dollar bin finds. Again, I found this online because this never pops up here in St. Louis. But yeah, that was an $8 online buy. Again, the shrink, it had the shrink originally, but there's no hype sticker, so I just threw that shit away. Because records are meant to be played, right? Isn't that today's public service announcement? All right, Bobby, I hope I got you back with that one. Let's go with, what was another fun one this year? Oh, come on, yeah. How about, I got another one I'm going to lose Bobby on, so I'll see if I can keep him as long as I can. All right. Chasing this one for a long-ass time. Again, this isn't a pornography name. Little Beaver, Party Down. Is anybody familiar with Little Beaver? I talked a little bit about this probably on one of our shows, but been trying to find this forever. And finally, the vinyl gods smiled upon me on that cool Cat label. I always get this confused with, like, here in the States, there's that firework company, Black Cat, where you get like the I gotta watch. I can't use my country jargon. Bottle rockets, firecrackers, etc. So I always think of Black Cat, the firework company, when I see this. But I think this is the second album. His first album, I think, was Joey. He was a kind of like a funk rock guitar player based out of Miami, I think. But I think he was originally from somewhere else in the South. Anyway, this shit smokes. Again, another Vinyl Me Please thing. This isn't the Vinyl Me Please, obviously, but they took a pass at this, and I think it actually, the Vinyl Me Please goes for about what this guy goes for. It's crazy. So now we're talking. This is my kind of live stream. Nothing wrong with a Little Beaver. Little Beaver was a midget wrestler. Okay, fair enough. Could be. I'm not gonna say. Art's getting into the mix. I once knew a girl named Little Beaver in Norfolk. See, you didn't meet her in the Carolinas, Art. I know this. You had to go outside of state lines to go to Virginia. Anyway, Little Beaver, Party Down. Actually, spoiler alert, I found 2 of these this year. It's unbelievable because, are you guys like this? It's like anything else. It's once you see it or get it, then all of a sudden magically you'll see it again where you haven't seen it in bloody years, right? You haven't seen it ever. And then all of a sudden you see 2 within a 3-month period. It's unbelievable. So that was fun. Let's go back to Dead Wax. Deadwax's been killing it from a different collection. You guys familiar with this one, Witchcraft Coven? Look at this shit. This is some crazy shit right here. This is on Mercury. It's the old Mercury label. I don't know. How would you describe this one? Vinyl Piper may like this kind of stuff. This is kind of like, I don't know, like, I wouldn't call it prog, like stoner rock, like deep rock, kind of, I don't know. Late 60s, early 70s. This is, I mean, the lead song is Black Sabbath. I don't know if that was directly or not. But this was a wall record that they had at Dead Wax. And I think I've seen this. I think maybe Rojas has this. I forget. But this shit, I mean, if you can't get a contact high from this one, I'm sure there's like the occult. This is a Witchcraft Coven destroys minds and reaps souls. That's some serious shit. I mean, that's some stuff that'll keep you up at night. Bad Vibes, Grasshopper. Hey, another Canadian. Hello, welcome. Bad Vibes. I'll make you lose one. That looks like a Noble Records kind of record. Dylan, is that true? I don't know if you've reissued that one, but that seems like something that to be like your jam. I think you could dig into that. Let's see. Let's talk about. Oh, there's a little story time. No, actually, a couple story times. All right, so probably gonna lose. Yeah. Oh, you need the Coven record. Well, I'll keep an eye out for you, Chris. I can do that. Back to my Canadians, Bobby. I didn't realize this, but indirectly, a lot of Canada action. So this is Pete Schofield and the Canadians. And this is Do Something Nice Today. So I talked about this earlier on one of our shows. I didn't know anything about this until I saw there online. There was like a record store owner that got this and was talking about it and said, you may not know, but now you know. And he played. it blew my mind. So it's actually, technically it's a cover. Think about Thelma Harper herself. Vicki Lawrence did the song The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. Okay. So they covered this. This is like, there's a lot of horns on her, kind of like, I don't know if I call it Canadian funk. Again, I'm terrible at giving shit labels. I know I would just put it under the rock category if it was my record store. Look at this on Periwinkle label. So that track was remixed and sampled for the legendary John Cena. You heard of this guy, John Cena, the GOAT, just retired from professional wrestling. So anyway, once I heard that story, it was Vinyl Destiny that I had to find this one. And so I had a lead, story time. I had a lead on one. Does anyone still use Music Stack, that website? I think it's called Music Stack. It's like a very dated website that I've used a time or two over the last 15, 20 years. 15, 20 years? 15. And it has varying degrees of success. Some record stores actually do post records on there. I think some are scammers, etc. So my first beat on this record, I had a lead, was on Music Stack, the website. And the guy apparently said he knew the band, etc. Bought it from him. Then he couldn't find it. Have you ever had this happen? You buy a record from somebody online and then they can't find it. So then it turned out to this prolonged thing about he's looking for it, can't find it, thinks it's at home. I mean, this went over the course of a month. And finally I was like, look, bud, like, can we just kill the deal? Because I'm emailing the guy every week. Hey, any update? Hey, any update? Finally, I was about ready to file a complaint or a claim with PayPal. And then I just got a refund back. So anyway, I had to get this one somewhere else, but a lot of fun. And fun fact, that record store that initially turned me onto that record, they were wanting like $300 for that record. That record goes for nowhere near $300. So public service announcement. All right. Vinyl Nerds, AO, what record of the year 2025 that you didn't pick up and why? Oh, man. You had to hit me with this one because... I grew up in team sports, and so sometimes you remember the losses more than the wins, right? And I got to say, my biggest loss was at WFMU, the Benz UK promo copy Radiohead. I had it in my grasp, and I didn't know what I didn't know. So I found this record. There was actually a couple records I ended up buying from this guy, Townes Van Zandt record, Halloween 2 soundtrack. Maybe Terry Reid, I forget. But he had this in like, there's the crates on the table, and then he had it in like the high value little box. And I'm flipping through it, and there's the Benz, right? So I'm looking at it, pull it out, look at it. And it's a promo copy. Okay. Well, I didn't, do you guys do this? You look it up right in front of them? Because I didn't know the value. I knew it might be something. So I saw the value, and this guy didn't have anything priced, which is always a pain in the dick, right? When they don't have like a price on it. So then you have to ask every record, what do you want for this? So I asked the guy, what do you want for this? $400. Holy smokes. I don't know if that's good or bad. So fortunately, Arnaldo, who just had purchased the OG of that record earlier in the year, I went to him. He was actually talking to Chad Cassom several tables away. So I put the record back, and there was actually a guy behind the table. Wasn't the main guy, but I guess a friend of the main guy. And he's like, oh, I might get that. And I thought this dude was just trying to get me to convert and just buy the record willy-nilly. I was like, no, whatever. So I go find Arnaldo. Say, hey, can you come over and just check this record? You know more about this than I do. Is this a good value, etc. I was gone 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Come back. Go. I know exactly where it is. It's not in the box. Fuck. So then I asked a gal who's working the table. I said, hey, did you guys sell that Radiohead? Oh, yeah, we did. Well, then the buddy guy was like, oh, yeah, I end up getting that. Come on. So this guy, he did buy the damn thing. So I said, hey, man, my friend's here. Can we just at least look at it? I want to show him this. Sure. Pulls it out. So we're looking at this, and Arnaldo's just shaking his head. He's like, chance. Because apparently this was a radio station promo. Apparently the story was they only sent this type of promo out to radio stations. It was missing 2 like key call outs. It was missing like a stamped 0 on the inner sleeve, and then it was missing some artwork on the label. Well, $400, which is a lot of money. That is like a $1,000 record, $800 to $1,000 record. So, Vinyl Music Nerd, that one has been in my crawl for 2 months now, and I'm not going to pay $1,000 for it. I'm just going to tell you, but man, oh man, we call that a kick in the dick here in the Midwest. So that one, that's the one that got away. Dang, that story hurts. Sorry, brought back the memory, but you're wiser now. Well, again, did learn. So if and when that ever presents itself, but side note. So at that same record show, there's a French record dealer named Clem, very nice guy. I've seen him in the last 2 years there. I got to know him. So we're at his table later, and he's like, what have you found? Have you found anything very good? And Arnaldo rats me out and says, oh, yeah, we had a radio, the Benz UK First, that this guy, and he goes, how much did they want? I was like $400. He's like, oh, chance. Even he knew. It's like, when the dog pisses in the house, you go pee-pee, poo-poo in the house, and you got to rub the dog's nose in it to teach him better. That's what I felt Clem and Arnaldo were kind of doing to me at the same time. But you got to learn. Yeah, so again, it's what you learn along the way, and you can't win them all. So anyway, all right, well, let's see some more of the comments. Okay, so Noble has that Coven record. There we go. Dr. Johnny Fever, gonna need an old priest and a young priest for that album. Talking about Coven, yeah, for sure. Bobby, still here. You score some awfully weird albums. Eclectic. Well, this is true, and this is part of the sickness, Bobby. This is I'll probably show some stuff that people know here in a second. Cesar, is that a mock-up of the photo of all the famous rap artists of all time? Photo taken in New York. No, that was, I think you're talking about the Pete Schofield. No. That was Pete Schofield and the Canadians. There must have been a lot of big horn section. So, all right. How about we talk about, let's see. How about soundtrack? Evil Dead. This is one never see. Your Sam Raimi movie, obviously. Very scary. Bruce Campbell with the chainsaw. I think this is before he cuts his arm off and puts the chainsaw on there, but I'm in one of my locals, Vintage Vinyl. They have this on the wall. This is right around Halloween time. No fooling. And I didn't even know they had a soundtrack to this. And I see this on the wall in shrink. It's Halloween time. I love any kind of Verese Sarabande soundtracks. It's kind of like a little sub-niche thing I like to collect, especially the 80s stuff with the red label. So Evil Dead, crazy, scary kind of shit, Bobby, if you smoke one and turn off all the lights, this shit may make you see some goblins. Like, this is some deep shit. It's not like the Shining soundtrack scary, but man, it's a pee your pants kind of thing. Vinyl Piper, what did I think of the Craig Smith box set? Well, I thought it was it's something that I probably wouldn't listen to on the regular. I would say that it's a different type of music for me. I'm pretty vanilla and blue jeans when it comes to any kind of world or any kind of super. I know Bobby said eclectic stuff. That shit's way out there. I will say that as I researched it, as we all do, or I'm sure you knew about it already, those originals go for some fucking insane money. So when it became clear, and again, this is another Record Store Day thing where they're like, only 500 made. Sure. Once it became clear, and this had nothing to do, I want to set the record straight, nothing to do with Kimbo and Mazzy and Joey Callio, and I'll talk about Joey in a second, flexing that record in their little video. But it did pique my interest. It was on my like third tier list. None of my locals, I hit 5 shops, I think, that day. None of them had it. And so it became clear that I'd have to do the online thing the next day. And let's just say I found it in multiple places. The resale was insane. So I bought one to keep and a couple to sleep, and one actually slept on the way out the door to basically recoup all my costs. And so anyway, the fact that it was 2 of the albums, I think it had a booklet in it too, was kind of a nice presentation. So I do have one more that I'm going to sleep on a little bit longer, but would I listen to it frequently? No. Would I get rid of it? Sure, for the right price. But interesting story, especially as I got to learn the backstory, which I know I called him a square the other day and you took issue with that, but he was a normal guy before whatever this acid trip or whoever he got involved with, and then making that freaky deaky. So yeah, there had to be a lot more than 400. I'm starting to think that these numbers, whenever they have the initial numbers, it's like in manufacturing. Here, I'm going to go nerd for it. This is a little bit of my professional life. In manufacturing, you always can make more than you think you're going to make, because you have basically expect, let's call it 3 to 10% to be defective. It's called fallout. So I'm assuming that they get these numbers and then they make them, and then there's not as much fallout in their mind. But I think we all know Record Store Day stuff is really low quality. Like, there's a lot of warp records and you can't get replacements because it's limited. So I think on a lot of these numbers, a lot of that is the non-fallout. I wish they would be a little bit more disciplined and get a little bit closer to that true fallout number, so then we're not having to get like the Billy Joel that came out live from Long Island, where the side A was a rap album. I mean, how does that happen? Unbelievable. Some bullshit. Michael Tedder, would you buy Hughless in the News One Step? I kind of think I'd be tempted. So I do have Sports, the MoFi that came out in the 80s, like when MoFi was pure in the 80s. I love it. That's like, to me, it is the best sounding Sports I have. When they did the 40th anniversary not too long ago on like the green, pool table green, it sounded like dog shit. But the MoFi, it's one of my favorites in my collection. Obviously, one of my favorite records. If it was a one step, my answer, Michael, would be, it'd really depend who it is, who is putting it out and who's mastering it. Because I don't know, like, to me, that just screams like a Bernie Grudman situation, because like, it's like when he was in his top condition in the late 70s, early 80s, that type of music. But yeah, now would I want to pay $100 for it? Man, no. That's a whole nother conversation. But I would be tempted if they could. Again, all the stars would have to align. But who am I fooling? That's my guy, so I would probably get it anyway. Final Dreamscape, Sean. Good evening. No panel. Yeah, so gave the boys the night off. We were going to do 2 weeks because of Christmas, obviously, last week, and this week with New Year's Day. And quite frankly, I needed a little bit of time. If you recall, Service Noise used to be the A side and B side. Between work, personal commitments, family stuff, it's a grind. And I know, you're not making really videos anymore, and you're doing a live stream once a week. How tough can it be? There's a lot of planning that goes involved with this. And anyway, it's nice to have a reprieve once in a while. So I was looking forward to the 2 weeks, but here we are on week 2. I was on a live stream a couple days ago over at George's channel, and it's great. It's great just visiting, not having to plan it, just showing and talking. And we were talking stuff besides records, which was nice. So anyway, the college football today, not good. I built something down in my my basement gym, and so that took up most of my time today. So I was just kind of sitting around. I was like, you know what? I saw these videos of people showing their top record, their pickups, and I was kind of inspired by that, and saw some cool shit. And so I know it's an eclectic taste. It's some stuff that's a little off the reservation. I've got some stuff. Hopefully, I'll show here in a little bit that makes more sense. But anyway, Happy New Year to you. Yeah, Evil Dead's a wonderful film. Maybe your favorite horror movie, Evil Dead 2. Okay, dig it. All right, Coupe de Villes we talked about. Let's see. How about we do? See, I don't want to do. Okay, I'll do this one. This is a fun one. Not too expensive. This is 1994. This is Orange by the John Spencer Blues Explosion. Talked about this, I guess, a couple months ago on the channel. Picked us up in Denver over at Twist and Shout. I was hanging with Steve Carlson and that crew. Not too expensive. The main pullout is the song Bell Bottoms, which Danger Mouse sampled for a remix on the Baby Driver soundtrack. That's where I first had heard some of the iterations of this. And again, this is what's beautiful about this hobby, is that you pull on the thread and you pull on a thread and you just learn more and more and go down these kind of rabbit holes of learning things. And some stuff, it's not for you, and some stuff, it's right in your alley. And this is kind of like, think about, and I just saw him a couple weeks ago. He came through town as like a 3-piece, not the Blues Explosion, just John Spencer and a couple of really talented musicians. Saw him in a club, and it was great. I was right there. Didn't get the success of like the White Stripes or the Black Keys or that type of kind of output, but similar type of music, kind of gritty, garage rock-ish. Anyway, so this is one that's a lot of fun. Not terribly expensive. Quick side note, here we go. Thank you, Grasshopper. Yeah, Bell Bottoms is a great song. I will say, quick story, and I'm probably giving away a little bit of sauce for 2026, but I was looking for this record before I found it. There's a copy on eBay. Turned out to be the reissue. Okay. But then I saw the net. You're not going to believe this. The seller's name. Okay, this is the person who's selling this record. Again, a reissue, so I didn't buy it. The seller was Johnny Fairplay. You remember this guy from Survivor? He was the guy in like one of the early seasons of Survivor, said his grandma died, and she really didn't because he was trying to win the game. It was Johnny Fairplay. Who knew this guy was a record collector, or at least into vinyl? So anyway, didn't buy the copy, but I was like, what a weird coincidence. What a weird right turn that literally I'm a Johnny Fairplay, his eBay page, and he was selling a bunch of records. He's selling like autographed Survivor buffs and photo ops and shit like that, which you would expect. But I was like, what are you doing, Johnny Fairplay? That also made me question if it was going to be a cool record when I saw my man had it. But anyway, all right. All right, let's get these out of the way because I know Bobby's gonna leave us when he sees this. Bobby, it was great to have you here, but I know you're gonna check out when I show this. So yeah, Johnny Flipper. Hey, listen, you got to do what you got to do. He calls himself the greatest reality show villain, and I mean, saying your grandma died and she didn't, that's pretty tough. So, yeah, see, Kimbo. When I think of Survivor, the biggest Survivor watcher I know, got to be Dad. It's got to be Kimbo. Huge. I think he told me he had a big cutout, a life-size cutout of Jeff Probst he got from like a local supermarket. Like it's in his bedroom. And so like it's a great talking piece when he was in his swinging days, when he'd bring these lasses in and there's Jeff Probst in the corner. Huge Survivor fan. So Kimbo, I knew you'd love the Johnny Fairplay story. Knew it. Well, hello, Kendall. This is freestyling. Just had the itch to show some records. I didn't really want to make a video, so I just thought I'd do the live stream, do like an AMA, talk to the people, and show some records. So, and Elliot, you did have a question. Let me go back earlier. Who do I have winning the college football playoffs? I think it's Indiana looked great. I mean, they manhandled Alabama, like owned them. So I really think Indiana is a team of destiny, and I think Ole Miss, if they win, I don't know what the score of the game is right now. They were winning when I came up to broadcast. But I really feel like those two teams are on a collision course. Even they're in different – like I think whoever wins that game plays Miami next, and then it's Indiana and Oregon. and the other half of the bracket. So, and I think Indiana, I think they're a team of destiny. That coach is excellent. What an excellent coach. All right, let's do a couple. I guess these are 2000s, early 2000s. So I know I'm always crying about 90s vinyl and why don't they make more of it and reissue it and that sort of thing. But it's out there. But the same can be said. Oh, no, BK. See, Elliot, this prediction is going to look like hogwash. It's going to look like a terrible prediction. But you never know. You never know. Hot Toddy may pull it back. Let's talk about early 2000s. So we're talking 2001, I think, on both of these. Incubus, Morning View, been reissued several times. Brandon Boyd and the guys. Probably their best album. Cesar, would you say this is their best album? Classics. Nice to Know You. Circles. Wish You Were Here. Gosh. Echo. Warning. I mean, this is like, sorry. Promo copy. Anyway, I had a reissue, which I need to move on from now. So I've always wanted an original, and this sounds terrific. So thank you, Incubus. And then this is where the viewership's going to go down. I appreciate everybody watching. If I lose you on this one, okay, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. See, people want to talk sports. Mazzy, sports, starts melting. People want to talk about ball. They want to talk ball. All right. This one's going to I'm probably going to, I don't have a lot of credibility, but maybe I have some social credibility sometimes. Maroon 5, Songs About Jane. Maroon 5, initially called Kara's Flowers with a K. Again, probably their best album. Harder to Breathe, This Love. What else is on? She Will Be Loved. What else is on here? Sunday Morning. Anyway, an original. I didn't even know there was an original pressing of this, quite frankly. And I think it was High Voltage, based out of Tacoma. If Harry was here, great shop, great website. If you check out High Voltage's site, they had this, and man, couldn't hit by fast enough. So again, as my crusade to get as much of the original 90s and early 2000s, I think like I'm really kind of focused on 94, 93 to about 2005, because I feel like 2006, when the Record Store Day kind of stuff started taking off, I feel like they started pressing stuff a little bit more commonly on releases 2006 and beyond, at least small runs. But yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Wonky Sensitive, hello. Whoops. Are you showing your top vinyl purchase? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. Again, people have been doing a great job in their videos and their social media stuff on Instagram. It kind of inspired me to just kind of go through some stuff. Some stuff I've talked about on Surface Noise. I know you watch every week, as you should. So I appreciate that. But no, I know everybody can't watch all this stuff. But I was like, why not? Let's just jump into the ring. I didn't really feel like doing a structured video, Madonna Vogue type shit. But anyway, yeah, Maroon 5. I have to show some of these without Jose and Rojas and those guys here, because I know they're going to record shame me. But the reality is I want my freak flag to fly proudly, because I got no problem with that. It's a great pop album. Now, the stuff they've made since kind of smells like dirty diapers, but, that's where it's out. All right. How about let's just keep it in the 90s. Yeah. So anybody familiar with this band, Helmet? The album's called Meantime. In Shrink, beautiful copy. The quick story on this one, Unsung is the main song. You've probably heard this. It's probably their commercially most successful song. My favorite song. I know that Betty got released by Interscope Vinyl Collective earlier this year. It's not really my jam, but at least that got reissued. The quick story is I was watching PB Thal's stream beginning of the year. A VCer who I want to be respect his privacy, going through some stuff, selling off part of his collection. So I reached out, see what you got. And so I purchased this from them, a very lovely copy of this album that I think I maybe seen an original one other time in my record hunting career. So doing my man a solid, he's doing me a solid, entrusting me with this beautiful copy of Helmet. Meantime, does anyone have that one? I'm just curious, because it's one that I don't see that often. And so I had to jump on it. Question. Oh, make sure the stream is long enough so Rojas and Bong won't bother watching it. Challenge accepted. Where are we at now? We've been bullshitting and side splitting for about an hour. So I'm going to go a little bit longer. I don't know if we'll do the whole 2, especially because I'm not really putting this on the pod. First of all, can I ask a favor? because I know that one of the Bleach Boys has infiltrated this. Can you go to Vinyl Community Podcast and give us a review? Do you guys listen to the podcast at all, or do you just watch this? I'm just curious. Not panhandling. I'm just curious because we do put some work into this, and I do. One of my things for talking about resolutions for 2026 is I really want to keep putting meatier content on the podcast because I really take a lot of pride and put a lot of work into that. And so if you could go Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you consume it, if you consume it, just give us a review. I'd appreciate it. I saw over the holidays one of the Bleach Boys came and gave us a 1-star, which is fine. No problem. Cool. You got me. Zinger. You got me. But anyway, if you enjoy the content, hell, if you want to hit a like on this, that's fine too. Hit a dislike, it really doesn't matter. But appreciate it. Anyway, there's the cheap plug. Sean says, I had an original of that helmet, great metal record, but it was never that important to me, so I sold it to finance another record. Nevertheless, a great metal album. Yeah, see, that's what we do. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of the great adventure of this hobby is discovering things, and sometimes like it's not as important. And if it's a gateway to get you something that's some supreme high heat, I think we've all done it. Elliot says, I'm not a podcast person. Never really tried them to any extent. Well, Elliot, open your horizons, my friend. You can sit, believe it or not, that's part of the beauty of Vinyl Community Podcast is you don't have to be in front of a screen to listen to this sexy voice, this beautiful face, and some of the other people, not just surface noise. Again, we're bringing more people back into the fold. Hear them talk about records while you're driving, while you're going for a nice walk. It's there for you. Cheap plug. Okay, Eddie. Hey, Eddie Perez. I have the helmet reissue. Right on. Look at this guy, Travis Foley. Hey, buddy, you rock. Well, checks in the mail, Travis. Happy New Year to you, sir. Good to see you here. It's a little late for you. You must not have to work tomorrow. It's 9:30. That's past the bedtime for the base. You guys would probably go to work at like 3 a.m. or something. So I appreciate you watching. Hit that like button real quick for me before you go to bed. All right. So I didn't want to bore everybody. So if you watched my vinyl resolutions, whatever video I did at the beginning of the year talking about my goals, I had 3 chief record collecting goals, things I was really focused on. One was collecting all Beatles UK originals. I didn't even get one. So big fail. I gotta play the drop on that one because that's a big fail, right? So I'm gonna kick that one into 2026 to make a dent on that. I did get the Beatles mono box. Does that count? Does that give me a little social grace? The next one was I wanted to get all original Townes Van Zandt records, predominantly on Poppy. I think the last couple ones came out on Tomato, and I think his last one, the Window View, I think it was Elliot, you know this label. It wasn't on Rounder. It was anyway. So get all Townes Van Zandt originals, and I'm happy to report I almost did it. I almost did it in 2025. Got everyone through Buddy. Some people here helped me track down some copies. I won't tell those stories, but found a few in the wild, found some online. The only one I didn't get was late, great Townes Van Zandt. I saw it. I came close. Talk about the question earlier about things I regret. WFMU again. Early on, I had a copy in my hand. No corner cut. Pretty clean. 2 bills. And it was just so early in the record show. I was like, I can't do this. Like I thought if I found one this quick, I'll find another one. You know what I didn't find? Another one. And then I went back later in the show to try to maybe haggle. Gone. So as Mike Wolf says, the American Pickers, big influence. The time to strike is when you see it. And it's true. Now there's been copies online. I've been in some eBay bidding wars, which never turn out well. But anyway, I got all the Townes Van Zandt originals except late great. So I hope to knock that one out early in 2026. But since I didn't technically hit the goal, I'm going to take my time and get the right copy for me. Sugar Hill. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Elliot. Sugar Hill. That's what I could see. I could see like the font on the label, and I was just so close. So thank you, Elliot. Yeah, Travis, you have to get up at 4 a.m. and it's 9:30. Now this is commitment. This is commitment to the Concert Buddy experience. So I appreciate that. Yeah, Poppy or Tomato. So the early stuff, Poppy. The tomato reissues are good too. I have a couple of those. But yeah, my goal was, and the thing I like about the tomato outputs, like he had a live album in '78 that was only on a tomato. It comes in like sorry, it's late. It comes in like a shopping bag facsimile, like the old grocery bag from the grocery store. Like there's a brown paper bag, tomato. That's the inner sleeve. That's some fun shit. Like, come on, that's fun. But anyway, Wonky Stuff says the Ramones debut album turns 50 this year. Do you think there'll be a one-step reissue? It's a great question. That'd probably a Warner Rhino property. Yeah, I could see that. Actually, Arnaldo took me. We were at CBGB's, or now it's John Varvatos clothing store, but where the old CBGB's used to be. And we actually went in that back alley where they did the famous photograph of that album cover. So that was kind of cool. I don't know if we were trespassing or not, but that was fun. Anyway, yeah, Travis hooked it up. Actually, Travis, I'll show the next two because since you're here, I do want to tell this story. Yes, Travis helped me get. Which one did? No, you helped me get Pink Moon, which I'll talk about here in a second. Because the other part of this, so I had Townes Van Zandt, and then I want to get all Nick Drake originals. Really, the three big albums, UK originals. Again, came close. Now, Travis did help me acquire Pink Moon, the third album, US original, so 72. So I did get that one with the hopes that I could eventually get the UK. Didn't happen. So fell a little short there. But since we're talking about it, let's talk about these two big boys. So in Austin, in the spring show, I just literally stumbled across Brighter Later. This is a UK first, Pink Rim Island. If you don't know Nick Drake, I could not encourage you more to go down the streaming rabbit hole. Go to YouTube. One of the best singer-songwriters of his era, died tragically prematurely. But this album, chef's kiss. I got like an 84 reissue earlier in the year, and as I was really getting like deep into it and got really passionate about finding these UKs, but these don't pop up. When they pop up, it's crazy money. So I'm at the Austin Record Show. I'm in the annex. I'm in the very back. And this guy's just got a very nondescript, flat table, doesn't have anything really displayed. And I'm just looking. His records were he had like a U-shaped kind of table, so he's standing in the middle. And all his records were just kind of spread out, like bottom down. And I'm kind of looking through them. And he had this. And you can tell it's UK because of the pink rim one, and two, because it's a textured cover. Now, obviously, the edges aren't the best, but I mean, come on, you play the record, not the jacket. See, I do believe that sometimes. Very fair price. I looked it over. It still was a pretty penny. I set it down for a second. Another guy next to me was like, oh. And have you ever had this happen before where you like had that moment of indecision? I always say indecision is a bad decision, and that's true. So I set it down. He goes, do you mind if I look at that? So then the guy next to me takes it out. He's looking at it. So I'm talking to the dealer. He apparently is from California. I was talking about some record stuff out there. I'm just kind of small talking. Meanwhile, I've kind of got my eye open. I'm like, fuck me. This guy's probably going to buy this record. I should have just held on to it. But he did what I did. Because, again, it's not a cheap record. He picks it up, puts it back in the sleeve, sets it down. No fooling. As soon as he set it down, I grabbed it right away. And he looked at me and he goes, oh, I should have just held on to it. Yes, you should have. So, anyway, very excited to pick this one up. This was a lot of fun and sounds marvelous. Like, this is the bee's knees. So love getting that one. And then the other one, hey Dawson, how you doing? Good to see you. Rampage video. Happy New Year to you too. So then the other one, I got Pink Moon US original, thanks to Travis. But really, one of my big heavies, this is probably one of the Mount Rushmores of this year, is this UK First Press full Pink Island label. 5 leaves left. This is 68 or 69? 69, maybe 68. Anyway, never see this. I saw this, and that. Hey, listen, this guy. This is the guy that keeps me going. Lavelle finds some of the best shit out there. So Lavelle, how you doing, bud? Happy New Year to you too, sir. This, holy smokes, never see it. I have a 76 Antilles reissue. I think they may have reissued it in 72 as well. Don't quote me on that, but originals, forget it. And this is crazy. This is silly money. This is goofy money. But it just so happened that Twist and Shout had a copy online, actually on their eBay store, that I've been watching for a while. And it was one of those, and I'm like, wow, I don't know. So I started saving some shekels, as we like to say. And then knowing that I was going to go to Denver and hang out with Steve Carlson and Richard's Vinyl Tap House and Poetry and Plastic and Teese, it's a guy I met up there. Great visit with those guys. We went. And I asked, could I see the record? I said, you guys have the eBay records? Yeah, sure. Let me see it. Pull it out. And Steve was funny because Steve's over on my shoulder and he's like, ooh. Because I didn't tell him what I said. There's a record they have I want to take a look at. Very, very, because what if they didn't have it? Then I look like a big goof because I'm talking about, this record I want to see and then they don't have it. Pulls it out. I pull it out. This thing is cherry. Beautiful, beautiful condition. And Steve's like, ooh. Like Steve gave me the audible ooh. And so I'm looking at it and so I'm like, what do you think, Steve? And he goes, not going to see many of those. So ended up pulling the trigger. But I did get a little bit off. I did talk to him because, again, it had been on eBay for a minute. And so I was able to get a couple $100 knocked off. And that was fantastic. That was, if not the pick of the year, it was the pick of most of the year. And then there's another one. I'll show it here in a second, here in a bit. That's probably the pick of the year. So fun. Yeah, 2 Nick Drakes. Yeah, I was hoping to get a 3. I was hoping to get a 3 scissor, but that's what the 2026 hopefully be. All right, Elliot says, I bought a signed limited edition book of Tom Van Zandt lyrics from an ad in the Tomato TVZ album. Okay, that's fun. Record Talk Chris, did they clean the restroom for the clothing store? So back to the CBGB John Varvatos clothing store. It's actually interesting. Very nice bathroom, by the way. Record store bathrooms are important. But they do have some records there, but it's a clothing store. It's a high-end clothing store. But what they've done with the building's very nice is they kept a lot of the walls, the exposed brick with all the graffiti and stickers and stuff on it. So high marks because obviously it's a very important building to the New York punk scene and music scene and so forth. But the bathroom does have a lot of that patina, a lot of those stickers, and but it has a wonderful toilet, a wonderful porcelain toilet. I gotta be honest, it's probably had a bidet. I didn't study it, but it was kind of in the back, had its own little enclosure, so it had a little bit degrees of privacy. So if you needed to just drop the hammer and go in there and just hit it, it's clean. And so yeah, highlight. Sean says, I only have Pink Moon, and it's actually a second press. At the time, I paid $50. Thought I overpaid. Glad I grabbed a copy when I could. Yeah, you could get a good return on that, Sean, quite frankly. Or if you upgrade ever to an original, there you got it. Kendall, tell me about the Paul Pena you got. I didn't realize you were looking for that one. Well, actually, I blame you because I think I'd seen it once, and it wasn't anything. I just saw it in passing. I didn't know the story. Then you got it and told your story. So this is the burden and the curse of the VECE is you learn new things, but then you also I wonder if I can find one. So I found it in WFMU. It wasn't the green capital label. It has capital. Mine was a red label. But before I bought it, I listened to it a few times on streamers through my various travels. And I was like, if I see this, I'm going to pull the trigger. And I think most copies have a hole punch because it wasn't a very big selling record. Because I think he was from Massachusetts, right? And interesting story. But since I recently showed that, it's the WFMU stuff. I was trying not to show a ton of it, so it's definitely one of my favorite pickups. But I didn't grab it per se for this example, so I'm sorry. But yes, I blame you, sir. Spins, welcome. How you doing? Happy New Year to you, sir. Back in the record game, this guy. Check out, go to the Spins channel. He's rebuilding the collection, which I always love watching those kind of videos. So he's doing a great job. Great quality of the presentation. Great camera. I need to get a better camera. I'm just kind of hodgepodging it with this stuff because I'm trying to be what they say, I have a voice for radio, a voice for television. I don't know. The podcast is where I'm at. But yeah, Kendall loves that record, and you do. It was a great pickup for you, and because of you, I added it to my collection. It's one that doesn't come up often. If you look at the Discog comps and solds, it doesn't come up too often. So thank you. My wallet says no, thank you. But and that guy at WFMU, he would not budge. He wouldn't work with me. He's like, nope, the price is the price. He knew what he had. So Anyway, oh, Ellie, you're making me feel bad. This game is crazy. Entertaining, big hits, amazing pass plays. Boy, you're really making me feel great for just jumping on when I could have been watching the game of the day. Instead, I'm live streaming, showing some records. All right, let's talk. Real quick, if you don't know, going back to Don Blackman, this is Bernard Wright. He was 18. He was a funk prodigy. This is the album Nard. I talked about it before on Surface Noise. I won't talk a lot about it here, but again, if you see that tan Arista label from the early 80s, this shit is fire. This is like the funk that you want. A lot of hip-hop samples came off of this album. Think about Snoop sampled this. I think Skilo, that song I Wish, sampled some of this. So I won't spend a lot of time because there's not a lot of hip-hop talk too often, so I don't want to pretend and bore you guys with that. But, oh, screw Kimbo, best game of the day. Son of a bitch. I might have to rush through this stuff. Hey, Vinyl Music Nerds, before you go, thank you. Yeah, we're going to do it. Keep coming back. Let me give you a wrench. You're here. I appreciate you spending your part of your New Year's Day with me. Joey, come on. You guys are really just rubbing it in my face now. Really good game. I guess I could put it on in the room here, but then I'd be distracted. I wouldn't be able to let's see here. Brian says, I'm entertained while I edit a giant batch of photos, and I thank you. And Brian, I thank you. Actually, Brian was kind enough. He sent me, see his new logo here? That's the official Tokyo Record style logo. Great logo. He sent me a sticker and a very kind note over the holidays. It was wonderful. So, Brian, thank you for that. Appreciate you, and I appreciate you being here. Novice Nick, this guy, thinking of dedicating 2026 to Atmos recordings. Happy New Year. There you go. Have a path. Go down the path. This is the co-host of the Audio Quest on Mondays with David Bianco. Check it out, 6:30 Central if you're scoring at home. I like to consider this like the Surface Noise La Familia, right? You got Surface Noise every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central. The haters and the debaters are still here watching. And then, obviously, Rojas and the Groove Seeker do the VC Social Club on Mondays now, 8 p.m.-ish on Mondays. And then Bianco. He's the lead, and Bianco and Nick are doing a live stream. And again, these are all different takes of record collecting and music, which I like, because David and Nick are hitting it from like the deep autophilia. Nick, are you an autophiliac? Is that safe to say at this point? But they talk about things that David necessarily doesn't get too deep here on Surface Noise, because we just talk about whatever and whoever and etc. So anyway, I feel I like a proud papa that the band is. And maybe the band breaks up this year. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, Mondays, go check out the Audio Quest. Do yourself a favor. Old Miss Driving. Oh, this is Mike. Oh, this is Mike. Is this you, Mike? Notes and Tones? Is this you? Old Miss Driving in the red zone. Well, hopefully, if you missed it earlier, I'm calling Old Miss as one of my championship game finalists. So we'll see. And Old Miss takes the lead. Booyah. Come on. I just love the fact that these guys will hopefully keep playing well and make it that far without Lane Kiffin. I think Lane Kiffin is the biggest douche that there is out there. There's some other douches I could probably name right now, but in the college football world, that guy is a massive douche. And, I mean, listen, I get LSU, big money. It is what it is. But, I mean, these poor kids, I hope they're just keep playing well despite him. You always got to love this. Mike, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for popping in, bud. Appreciate you. That's right, Nick. This is a great bumper for the show. Always a variety of information and entertainment. There you go. And there's a segment. Nick, is this true? Lube Talk? Is Lube Talk officially making the Audio Quest? You didn't want to do it with Baraka P-Dub, Paul. He's a great guy. But I hope that becomes a regular segment. Maybe we can do some science experiments on water-based lubricants and that sort of thing. We'll see how it goes. Brian, taking off. Tokyo Brian, cheers. If anybody else wants a free sticker and a note from Japan, DM him. Yes, do it. It's a great sticker. I like it. Do it to it. Let's go. Ole Miss up. Hot Toddy 27-24. Thank you, Paul. All right. How about a couple more records? How about that? So let's do the Joey Callio one. So Joey put this on my radar. This is Norma Tanaga. This is the album. Great name. A very unusual name. Walking My Cat Named Dog. I didn't know what this was. Joey came to town with a 7-horse band, 2-piece. I picked him up before the show, and we went to, I think we go to 2 record stores. We didn't have a lot of time, but I took him. He was looking for, I guess they just reissued this, because this I think one of the main songs, was it You're Dead? I forget which song it was featured on The Things We Do in the Night, some kind of TV show. And so they reissued it, I don't know if in conjunction with that, but he was hot for a reissue. So I took him to the boys at Planet Score over in Maplewood. Shout out to Joe and Tim. And they had a reissue. And so we got it. Joey was super excited. So the plays of the show, after the show, we hung out with Joey on the bus, and he put this album on. He's like, "Are you familiar?" No, puts it on. And I dug it. It was a lot of fun. So then I think a few weeks later, I'm over in California. I'm at Atomic Records. If you've ever been to Atomic, that wall is powerful. It's a powerful aphrodisiac of the vinyl variety. They had this record, an original, on the wall. And I felt it was vinyl density or vinyl destiny, because I literally did not know a lick about this record. I've come to find out that this lady may not have been the nicest lady in the world because of her same-sex partners. Maybe she may have been a little abusive, but I digest. Anyway, it's on the wall, fair price. Ended up grabbing this copy. It sounds terrific. New voice, label. Not really my thing as a try to find that type of music, because since Joey introduced it to me, literally a couple weeks later, here's an original. I figured it had to come home with me, and it's a fun copy. So, okay, yeah, Mr. 40, this guy. So, Chris, yeah, you have so many 45s. Do you have a 45? I bet you do. Vinyl and Kicks 86. Hello, Happy New Year to you. Oh, Travis, you're still here. I traded that record to Dead Wax. Well, I didn't get it from Dead Wax. Wouldn't that be weird? That'd be like girlfriends. If you broke up with a record and I bought it from somebody else instead of just selling it to me. Like if you sold it to me or we traded it would be one thing, but if you traded it or sold it to a local and then I bought it from them, that'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Tell me in the comments below. Would that be weird or no? I don't know. Yes, it's density brought it to you. That's right. Yeah, see, listen, I know what I'm saying. I know the Bleach Boys are going to have a field day with this one, but I like to have fun with this. And if you don't think so, then you could suck a dick, as we like to say. That's right. This is the way. Sometimes you just have to grab and when you see a rare album. Agreed. Because at the worst, Mr. Hall of Fame Brandon's true on this one. At worst, it's just money on the shelf. And like we said before, like you said before, I think it was, Sean, about that Helmet record. If you have it and maybe the whole thing's not for you or you're not passionate about it, you move it on for something you are passionate about. So means to an end. Means to an end. Ah, Mark, Happy New Year to you. Happy new album coming out soon, I hope. Look forward to hearing the details behind that, but always a positive guy. So Mark, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Yes, here we go. Elliot, reissue selling for 38. OG is 170. I didn't pay 170. I paid the math, maybe half of that, 60% of that, maybe. For a wall record at Atomic, it was one of the cheaper ones, actually. But yeah, the reissue's $38. That's what Joey got. So Joey's a great guy, by the way. Always very generous with his time when he comes through. All right, let's do these two. I don't think Dom's watching, but I blame Dom for this. Travis, I like you, so hopefully you don't take this wrong. Fuck you for paying $1 for a $170 record. You bastard. No, that's great. Probably another collection you get. Probably one of these collections you got. What was the record? You had like a Travis Tritt record for $3 in a collection. This guy's the luck. Are you Irish? I know Foley. I don't know if that's an Irish name, but man, this guy, he finds some crazy stuff in his collection he buys for the Vinyl Zone. The Vinyl Zone is Travis's shop. Follow him on Facebook. They do show records, new arrivals on his Facebook page. And Travis, correct me if I'm wrong, if people comment that hold that for me or ship it to me, you'll do so. I think you don't have like a website per se, but you will sell records you show on your social media. Tell me in the comments below. I'm trying to help you make some cash here. Anyway, so Dom, Seeking a Thread. Great guy. Yes. Yes. See, the Vinyl Zone. The Vinyl Zone. Check it out. Facebook. And maybe Instagram too. So Dom, Seeking a Thread, did a great video this year talking about the I knew this record. Let me start off with this one. Link Ray. Die cut cover. You always see this shit beat up. Look at it. Always missing a piece or like somebody drew on it or whatever. This copy, even though I have a saw cut over here, it's still a great copy. Red Polydor. The only thing about it, I got this at a local record show. Is that Summer Buck Chuck? Travis knows who that is. Summer Buck Chuck. A little. This is probably going to give me some kind of disease later in life, but a little of a toxicity on the label here. But Dom was talking about, I guess these 3 records were kind of recorded all together, because if you know anything about Link Wray, like the music he made when he first started his career is nothing like this kind of singer-songwriter stuff that he presented on this album and a couple other recordings, including, I guess this is his brother Vernon Ray. This is Wasted. This record, crazy to find this one. And as I was talking about before, I tracked one of these down online, and it's a very interesting listen. Again, a lot of like folk music. I see I've already lost Bobby. I know Bobby's gone. Not an easy one to find, but I'm not even making this up. I tracked this down after seeing Dom's video, because I'm like, oh, I listened to a little bit through YouTube because it's not on streamers. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. This would be great, especially because I really dig the Link Wray album. And as soon as I buy it, I'm not even kidding you, 2 weeks later, I'm in New York at WFMU. Guess what I saw in the bins? This record. It's like, good grief. So it's one of those things where you don't know, and then you know. And then there's a 3rd record as part of that trilogy, which I'll probably pick up. It's considerably cheaper. It's Mordecai Jones. The record goes from anywhere from like 30 to maybe 80 or 90 bucks. So I'm waiting on the $30 variety, but I'd like to complete that. But Dom did a great video. Encourage you to go check it out. Seeking a Thread is his channel. You can learn about it. Elliot, Link Wray grew up 15 miles from me. Harnett County is greatest claim to fame. Well, I thought you, Elliot, were the greatest claim to fame. Come on, that's very modest. That's very modest. Wyoming Dave, I have 3 45 records by Link Wray. Yeah, Rumble is probably the song that's probably most synonymous with his career. You probably heard, I think, was that Pulp Fiction? It's been featured in several movies over the years. Dane Johnson is here. Found recently a Travis Tritt Country Club record for $7. Steal of a deal. Dude, early 90s country, especially club releases, talking BMG, talking Columbia House, like legit gold. You're talking Billy Ray Cyrus, Some Gave All. You're talking George Strait, In the Cold Air of the Night, Yellow Cover. Like a lot of that stuff they didn't make. And unfortunately, I think it was mastered digitally. Whether or not that makes a difference to you, that's for you to know. But yeah, any of that early 90s, Winona Judd's first solo record, I think it's self-titled, pink cover. Any of that early 90s, Garth Brooks, Rope in the Wind, I think was one. Any of that club stuff, Columbia House or BMG, I think mostly Columbia House. Grab it. Travis Tritt, this is another one. Grab it, because even if you don't like it, even if that's not your thing, grab it and sell it, because again, it will get you closer to the records you do want. Now, if you find any of that, reach out to me first. Maybe you can work a deal, a quid pro quo. Elliot says, no, I'm Harnett County's second greatest. Sorry, fair enough. Modesty. Elliot, you're a modest guy. I appreciate that. Oh, my God. This is incredibly bad. Holy crap. Georgia goes for it on 4th and 2 in her own end zone and gets sacked. Well, hot toddy. Garth, yeah, Garth never reaches anything. Do you that may be the joke of the year so far. I know the year is only a day old, Chris, and I enjoy your channel and I enjoy your sense of humor. I hope you know that. But yeah, that box set, oh my God, what an abomination. It's funny is where did I find? I got Amazon was like clearancing those out, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna make a lot of money. They were clearancing them out for like $17. So I bought a couple, and I'm like, oh, if anything, I'll just trade these at the local shops or the record shows. Man, I might as well have a dirty diaper of Indian food. Like, these things are like, nobody wants this stuff. It's such a gimmick to think he got the largest vinyl sales. He got some kind of award. It was all part of the manufactured legacy kind of stuff. But man, now they're selling them at like Dollar Generals. If you guys know what that is, Dollar Generals, think about lowbrow Walmart wannabes kind of thing. They've trying to take over rural areas. Dollar Generals. If you want the Garth Brooks vinyl box set, it's unbelievable. Kendo, I still have that picture Billy sent to me of you and him at the Garth Brooks record. I didn't even know he had in the shop. Yes, I think it was that Rope in the Wind. He'd had that on their back wall for a long time. And true story, Amoeba, LA, 5 or 6 years ago, they had that record on the wall. And so my wife and I went in halvesies. Like, she's got some records, but I didn't want to go. I think it was like a $50 record, and I didn't want to pay $50 for it. She kind of wanted it, so we went in halvesies. It was a very couple thing to do. And so it's been a shared copy since. But then when I saw it in Billy's shop, and I had some shop credit, some stuff I'd sold or traded into Billy, so I decided to burn it on that. But yeah, that was a fun one. Didn't make the list. Wyoming Dave, I read Skid Row, Slave to the Grind, club vinyl version only. Oh yeah, I read Slaughter, Stick It To You, and the Wildlife record club versions, vinyl only. If I ever did find those, I'd get them for myself for sure. Yeah, Slave to the Grind, I actually got that one this year, that club version. You know, they did a Record Store Day reissue, maybe Red Wax, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. It sounds pretty good. But yeah, who did I get Slave? 1, 2, 3, 4 Records out of Oakland, I think, had a copy. And I think I bought it from them this year, and it's awesome. So I'm probably going to sell the reissue. And then Slaughter, Stick It To You. 5th or 6th grade, love me some Slaughter. Fly to the Angels. Come on, Mark Slaughter. Love it. Joel, good evening, sir. How are you? Good to see you. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Paul, thank you. he's my Dan Patrick. Giving me the sports scores. I appreciate it. All right, we got a couple more. Do I do this one? So this is a story time record, mainly because I don't think most people will know what this is. So this is The Perfect Circle, not to be confused with A Perfect Circle, which is like a 90s, 2000s alt band with Maynard James Keenan. This is kind of like a dance, like a disco funk kind of record, late 70s. I want to say 78 or 79, 77, pretty close. Private Press, from, gosh, what's this label? Yeah, this is Inner City Records. So there's a channel on YouTube, and I would recommend anybody go check it out. Name's kind of goofy. It's hard to find vinyls with an S, vinyls, which, you know, I don't really care for that. In fact, if you'd like a bumper sticker, this is our cheap plug of the day. The plural vinyl is vinyl community podcast. I set those out at record stores sometimes. Private Press. This is a really fun record, but I didn't know about it until like earlier in the year. Hard to find vinyls with an S. Had the full album start to finish. So this is Private Press. You're not going to find this on streamers, I don't think. Listened to it. Loved what I heard. Check that channel out. They've got some of the coolest music, like the most obscure shit. It's awesome. So anyway, then I'm on the hunt for this channel, or for this record, pardon me, because of that channel. And it came close a couple times. And there was one, and I'm going to tell the story delicately, but there is a channel that sells records online. And no, it's not Dylan or anything like that. That had this record. And so when I got serious about wanting to buy this record, reached out, and we agreed on the price. And I thought we were good to go. And then the next day, I got a note saying, "Oh, hey, sorry, a friend of mine saw me take down the record off the listing and proceeded to flood me with a offer I couldn't refuse of other records in trade." Has that ever happened to you guys? Where you had a deal and then something like that happens? So I didn't know how to process that one, to be frank, because I thought we had an understanding. And this guy gets really cool records. I mean, I give him credit on that, but that was, again, kick in the dick kind of situation. So I wasn't exactly pleased about that, but fate, be fate. Yes, actually, Dane, you're right. It was Mazzy and the In-Groove. They partnered up on this record to fuck me royally. They promised me the world, and they delivered me an In-N-Out burger location. It was disgusting. But yeah, so I wasn't exactly thrilled about that, but you know, it is what it is. And so, but I think the vinyl universe, the vinyl gods smiled on me not too long after that, because I was presented with an opportunity to buy that record for half of what I was willing to pay for it in that broken deal. So it ended up working out. In fact, I think this is probably a better copy, but man, not good. Yeah, Elliot, I was disappointed, especially because it was like the first deal I would have done with this gentleman who, again, I'm not going to drop any names because I don't think that's any good, but it was just unfortunate. So Not how I do things. All right. Two more heavies. I'll leave the big heavy for last because it's a good story. So this record, Canadian, Bobby, if you're still here, man, how many Canadians have I talked about today? Can you believe this? Canadians. This is Henry Pierre Noel. This is a record called Piano. He was a Haitian immigrant, kind of a jazz pianist, jazz, a little bit of funk to it. I learned about this record years and years and years ago. It's part of a TED Talk about record collecting. So I want to say it's like 10 years ago. One of the hardest records I've ever had to track down. You never see it. When it does pop up online once in a while, it's crazy money. It's insane. And I got real close once. There was a guy on Discogs who had a sealed copy. And if you watched the show or you have watched my shit, you know that I'm always apprehensive to buy sealed records of like any kind of vintage over 10 years old. This record's 78, 79. Yeah, 79. This label. It's like piano keys. That's fantastic. Fun record. Good stuff. Guy on Discogs has a sealed copy. Serious penny. I said, look, I'm really worried about Warp Records because, chain of ownership is really important to me. And so the last record I'll show you coming up, there's a chain of ownership thing. So I'm sure this guy wasn't the original owner. He probably got it from a collection or a trade-in or however he got it. But I'm sure he wasn't the original owner. So you don't know if for 30, 40 years, if it's been stacked this way on a shelf and you've got a storage warp or it's been in a hot car or a storage locker or whatever. You don't know the conditions that sealed record has been treated on for years. So I say, hey, man, Georgia scores. Of course they do. Georgia Bulldogs, man. VK. Check some of these out, man. Maybe you'll like them. If you don't, you don't. So this guy's got a sealed copy on Discogs. I said, look, dude, I'm apprehensive. I'm sending some DMs. I'm apprehensive about buying a sealed record. I'm not apprehensive of the price per se, but look, if you would open it, I'll give you $20 regardless. Would you open it and make sure it's not warped or it doesn't have any foxing or any of that stuff? $20, no problem. And it's a strategy I would recommend anybody employ, by the way. He's like, sure. So $20, send it to him, opens it up. What do you know? It's warped. Has a warp. Now, was it playable? Yeah, he sent me a video. It was had a little bit of that wave. But for the price, I just couldn't do it. So cost me $20. I think it was a good investment just to know, because what a bummer it would have been. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if you would have bought a sealed vintage record, got it home, put it on the turntable, and then you get some of this Beach Boy shit. You get some of that Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello, Bash at the Beach kind of stuff. So anyway, eventually the record came around. I didn't do that deal, but eventually it came around for a fraction of what I was thinking about paying for it before. And there we are. All right. Last record I'll show. Michael, are you still here? I hope you're still here, Michael. I wasn't sure if I should show this record, but I will, because it's a great story. It's really the story, and it's a great, great record. So I'm going to, Doctor, either way, we'll take chance at a dive bar for karaoke in Austin. Be careful what you wish for, Doc. You put on some Billy Joel Piano Man, I'm gonna own the space. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm throwing down the gauntlet. I'm just throwing it on the table. Throwing it on the table. Oh yeah, Lavelle, I hear you. I was sweating bullets that's why he opened that sealed. Magic Sam, yeah. If you go to Lavelle's channel, he just did a feature. Magic Sam, I think, was a Chicago blues musician. Hopefully I got that right. 78, 77 time frame. You just opened one that was sealed, and thank goodness for you, it was in great condition. That's fun though when they work out. But Uptown Girl, I don't do Uptown Girl. Uptown Girl is a great song to listen to and sing along with, but terrible karaoke song. All right, so if Travis is still here, story time. Oh, 68, holy shit, even better. So Travis is still here. He knows the story. In fact, Travis is the one who kind of put me on this road. He again, the Vinyl Zone, Southern Illinois. Go check him out. Check out the Facebook. That's, I think, where he does most of the communication. Yes, sir. Yeah, he's here. You ready for this? I'll tell the story. So Travis, I think, was buying a collection, got put in contact with a guy who was selling some records. I think he went, checked it out on site, and they had some bangers, some Townes Van Zandt stuff, which I think he peeled some off with, and some really great shit. Still rock and roll to me. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Elliot. Yeah, Magic Sam. And again, Lavelle, somebody I trust, somebody who's got great taste, eclectic taste, has turned me on some cool shit over the years just through his channel. I hope to meet him this year. That's one of my 2026 goals. When I go to Chicago this year, I want to meet Lavelle. But yeah, Magic Sam, another one. I was like, no idea. Fun to learn. So Travis talking to this gentleman, and they strike up a conversation. And so Travis is like, hey, met this guy. What Townes Van Zandt he's still looking for? You know, he might have late grade. I don't know. I'll ask him. He's going to come to. So Travis runs the Metro East Record Show, Southern Illinois. And he's like, yeah, I think this guy's going to come to the record show and sell some records. I peeled off a couple for myself, but I think he's going to come. Maybe he'll bring some Townes. Cool. He's like, but he has a record, and I'm trying to coach him up on bringing it. And so he told me what the record was. I'm like, oof, this is a big deal. This is a big deal, Holyfield. It's a big deal, Holyfield. Thank you, my man. It'll be fun. We'll tear it up. We'll go. You can show me where the secret good spots are. We won't tell anybody. You tell me. Like, you can go. Everybody can go to Reckless. Anybody can go to Bucket of Blood. I think is Vance's favorite. You take me to the secret spots, and we'll just keep them secret. Deal? Half Price Books. You just got that. Was it Gin Blossoms? Whatever you showed today. Yeah. That was, Our Lady Peace from, I think, Half Price Books, which is always fun. Anyway, so Travis is like, yeah, this guy's gonna bring it heavy. Would you be interested? And I'm like, yeah, I'd take a look at it. Sure. Now, keep in mind, I've been purging. I don't think I've talked about this on Surface Noise, but I've been really getting rid of a lot of records. Some through a friend's shop, some just kind of been selling on my own. I've been selling some other stuff, quite honestly. I'm just kind of, it's like we all do. Sometimes you just look around and like, man, I've got too much stuff. So yes, Third Eye Blind. Thank you. At Half Price Books. Thank you, Lowell. The Billy Joel jokes write themselves, guys. I really like this. All right. So when it comes to, so the guy comes to the record show, and so I'd been kind of building up a little bit of a nest egg. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And, part of me was, like I told that Radiohead story before, I was like kind of burned. I was fresh off of burning for that. I was like, man, if one pops up, maybe I'll just buy one just out of spite because I'm pissed. Oh, hell, that's a great deal. $65, Lavelle. Good score. CDs are back, Doc. I bought more CDs in 2025 than the last 5 years combined. That's a fact. So this gentleman comes to the record show. Travis even set him up right next to his table selling records. And my man was straight out of, I think, Tom. Travis was his name, Tom. Out of Central Casting. He even had overalls on. My man had overalls on. See where I'm going with this? And so Travis is like, yeah, that's the guy. Okay, cool. So I go and kind of check out his stuff. So I was really, Tom. And he's a very nice guy. I appreciate Tom for selling me this record, and I'll talk about that in a second. So Travis is like, yeah, that's him. Cool. So I kind of looked through. I was looking for the Townes. I was looking for late grade. I was trying to get it. Didn't have it. Asked him. He's like, oh, I might have one. I have a reissue. I probably have a reissue at home. I was like, okay. So he didn't put this record out necessarily. So I'm like, let it breathe. Let it breathe. Like back in the day, you go to the bar, go to the club. You don't want to just go right straight up, start running game on some unfortunate female for that evening, right? So I did the walk, kind of looked at some other vendors, bought a couple other records. I think I bought a Guy Clark Old Number One. Finally, I found one in WFMU in solid shape, but at Travis's show, I found one that's even better shape. So if you're looking for that record, hit me up because I have a solid copy that I can part with. Anyway, so there's another guy there at some 45s. Like, oh gosh, what was he selling for? 50 cents a piece or something? He was at the last Travis show. I call it the Travis show. It's a Metro East record show. But man, I've been cleaning up on some of those 45s. So anyway, make a couple rounds, come back to Tom's table, and says, hey, Tom, I understand you have this record. I guess I'll show it. You may have heard of this. This is self-titled 1971, Mount Vernon, Illinois. gold label. Farm. Dylan has reissued this, I think, in conjunction with Garrison. He's reissued it once or twice. I think there's been a couple different versions. So Tom's backstory, I said, Tom, I understand you have this record. Yeah, I have that record. So his backstory is fascinating. So he actually knows these guys, has them in his phone, grew up with these guys in Mount Vernon, Illinois, which isn't too far. It's probably hour and some change northeast of St. Louis. And turns out he knows these guys. He actually had this and a 10-inch. The 10-inch was signed by the band, and but I wasn't interested in that. It wasn't something that was really for me. So the first thing was listen to the story. So he knows the band, his personal copy. So I said before, chain of ownership, important. Chain of ownership. He's the only guy who's owned this copy. Solo owner. Oof. Snooky. So it's his personal copy. So then it's like, okay, why are you selling it? Oh, I'd like to buy a guitar. Okay, perfect. Wants to get a new guitar. Even better. So I'm helping him, right? It's like those resellers on YouTube who, buy stuff. That's like their career. And they're like, oh, I'm doing a community service. Okay, I'm helping you get a guitar. Cool. But yeah, he's the only guy. And guys, I'm not even buddies. I'm going to concert buddy with buddies. When I'm saying how cherry condition this is, I can't even describe it. Like this thing, no surface noise, no crack, pops, crackles, anything. Like needle drop, beautiful. And I do have the reissue. I think I bought Dylan's reissue, the yellow. He did, like when he first reissued this, I got the yellow copy. So he's got this and he's got this 10-inch and he wants to sell them together. And it's, I wasn't going to go there. He was wanting some, what they call fat stacks. So I said, Tom, would you be open to splitting? Like, I'm only interested in this. I'm only interested in LPs. Like the 10-inch, which I think it was a bootleg actually, signed by the band. Like, I'm not that collector. And I mean this too. Like, if he ever wants to try to sell it, like, I think I know some people who may be interested in that. But not for me. I was like, sure. So, I said, what would you think on this? So he thinks about it. And he goes, well, let's just not bullshit or, here's what I think. Done. That's simple. So I got this at an excellent price. I didn't have to buy the 10-inch and like really pay up. And guys, I can't even tell you, like, again, the condition. First of all, condition of the jacket. No ring wear. A little light wear here on the back. But, 1971. This thing's over 50 years old. No cuts. No anything. Like, this is tremendous. And the vinyl. Should I show? No, show. Literally. No. This is the copy. This is the copy. So, like I said, I'd been keeping my powder dry and saving up some money. I just moved some doubles of some records. So I was in a position where I could take a big swing like this. And I'm so glad I did, because this is a record that, what's funny though, is this record actually sold at the same show 2 years ago. Rougher copy. Friend of the show, Matt Sands. There's a story. I won't tell the whole story. I've already bored you guys with enough stories. But no. I have a smaller bladder than George does. So I think George is my guy. I wish I would have seen him. Mazzy made that funny comment that going on a VC adventure to California doesn't count unless you're there. It just so happens when I was there and you were there, it didn't work out that way. It was not planned that way. It's just how it worked out. But I really wanted to meet up with George while I was out there. And George, I think, was playing a gig. We just couldn't make it work. But everybody else was fantastic. And so I hope next time I'm out there, he'll be out there as well. I'll make sure. I'll clear it with your publicist to make sure that you don't have any modeling jobs or voice actor work on the East Coast. And that comes up. Yeah. Oh, my plan worked, you son of a gun. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was a lot of fun. So it's been a fun year. Yeah. And Travis, again, thank you. You put me, this is the beauty. Again, one of the fun parts of getting to know people through this medium, through your local record stores, dealers, the people who sell records online anonymously from your area, which we have surprisingly a lot more than I knew until I started doing this stuff. Travis is one who just started watching this stuff. He came up to me at one of the local record shows, introduced himself, and we've been pals ever since. And obviously when he started his shop, he's been now dipping his toes in all these different collections, and he's always a gentleman and giving me heads up on some things that I may be interested in. And so I give credit for putting this record in its forever home for now until it's moved to the next person. But it's not going to be moved for a very, very long time. That's a archival piece. So, we send it, say graded. No way. This thing sounds so good. Like a slab. This is a beautiful, beautiful copy. So, anyway, it's been a good year. Been a very good year. Thank you, Elliot. I love the stories. Well, I didn't want to bore. We have surface noise. We show some records. We do a little bit of show and tell. If I do a video, again, I just wanted to go through everyone that's been doing their top video pickups. Even I think Rob was doing some on his live streams. It's inspiring. I like watching that stuff. Hopefully other people have watched or enjoyed watching this, because that's the main reason I did it. And I was like, well, there's a couple of video ideas, but really I'll just do a live stream. We'll talk about the dead stock finds. We'll show some of these awesome records. And I'm a hand model. If you look at Eddie Bauer, the fall Eddie Bauer 1997 catalog, page 48 watches, you see my hand. I'm featured in a couple Swatch watches, a couple of metal chains. Check it out. Prove me wrong. Brian, you're still here. Have you talked about your setup ad nauseum? Curious what your rig is if you'd share on another stream. Okay. Well, so I'm not a big autophiliac. Is that the thing? Oh, I don't get to use this enough, Brian. I hope you humor me. I don't. I don't get to use that enough, because I do think we beat to death a seasoned audiophile joke this year, and we'll probably still drop that once in a while. But yeah, so if you're asking me about my rig, I'm probably the last person to talk about this stuff. I have vintage. I have a Marantz 6300 turntable. It's Marantz 2230, so it's only 30 amps, so it's not super powerful. Vintage receiver, and then I've got a couple of just okay bookshelf speakers on pedestal stands. So they're pretty. Fluence is the brand, so they're solid to me. Can you upgrade equipment? Yeah, like I have this Denon over here in my office over here that I'll play stuff with when I work upstairs here. It's actually kind of a fun kind of turntable cover, but so I have a whole different setup up here. So that's a Denon. I have a Sony receiver, like a modern receiver, Edifice speakers up here. But yeah, that's something that I think personally, when I get to a point where I feel like I'm not gonna be like Thanos and I can rest. Like I'm always gonna want to look for records, even if I'm not like in the VEEC anymore actively. But I kind of have an eye. I'm always looking Facebook Marketplace or any kind of, not Craigslist, because Craigslist, there's a lot of weirdness on Craigslist. Like Rob, you hang on Craigslist? No, I was kidding. But yeah, like ultimately I'd like a Macintosh. I'd love the tube amps from Macintosh. I love that setup, but I need to learn more about that. Like I've never been a gear guy. There's people who are gear people. Hats off to them, and I hope to hopefully be able to peel off some nuggets of wisdom, getting to talk to them about stuff. But anyway, Jonathan Peters, that's me, Breakfast King. Hang on, JP. Let's see. We got some deals going on. Jonathan Peters, hey Chance, hope to see you in the 313. Would love to connect with you via IG. Yeah, actually, we're not connected already. Yeah, just send me a thing. I'm always looking to chit chat and hit back. Yeah, 313. Oh, so this is a Michigan thing. 313. I don't know what the area code is. I know it was Vanilla Ice. Was that Miami? 818. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, send me a thing. All right, Travis, again, thank you. Put me in with some good records this year, and I hope that continues, and I hope I can do the same for you, sir. So enjoy. So anyway, Brian, yeah, my rig it works for me. It plays for me. The thing about vintage equipment, though, is you do need some upkeep. So I've actually had my turntable. I bought my turntable during COVID, actually from like OfferUp, I think it was. It was vintage, still in the box. I think it had been played, but they kept the box. So you're talking 1972, 73, still the box. Still the styrofoam, still the original dust cover. So the first thing I did, the dust cover, it was like dark. I ordered a custom made one, replaced it, and then took it to hopefully, I don't know in Japan. I'm sure in Japan they have like these people, but in the States they're kind of a dying breed of the shops who can work on vintage equipment. So we have one here in St. Louis that do great work. Takes them a while because there's only like 2 or 3 of them, and since they're the only game in town, it takes them a minute. But had it serviced there. Then I found I think Jeremy from Dead Wax put me in contact with my 2230 receiver. They had it cleaned up, changed the lighting, yada yada. Sold that to me years ago. I think actually I had that before I had the turntable, but that's what I have. So yeah, I think the first upgrade would be I'm gonna probably get some stand-in tall boy speakers at some point, and then start to really get into it. But I don't know if that's anytime soon. My shit sounds pretty good. When people come over, I've played it with them with no shame. But I'm sure that if I did like like people do the room tours video, I'm kind of apprehensive about that because I don't want people to like, go a whole audiophile on my setup. So anyway, but yeah, I love vintage. I love Thorns. I love those vintage Thorns. I think Bob Bradley has one that's made at Detroit. I didn't want to listen. I was trying not to dox anybody. I thought it was Michigan, so I wasn't gonna go there. But Detroit, actually, on my list when Paul came through, we had lunch, had a great visit. Hopefully, Paul feels the same. And I learned there's a couple other VCers up there, and so we kind of talked. I kind of asked us, what's it like up there? What's really, because you go to different areas. You go to Chicago. Chicago is really deep in soul, classic rock, techno. They actually have some techno stores, some dance music, etc. You go to Texas, you go to Austin. You've got a lot of rockabilly. You've got country, of course. You got some Mexicana type music. LA is kind of a cross section of everything. Classic rock, a lot of promo copies because of the labels being out there. New York is like a melting pot of everything else. So want to get up to Detroit and Michigan, check that out because I love soul music. Hopefully some hip hop up there. And then I want to get down to Florida too. I want to try those areas before I hang up my VEE, CEE things. Kendall, going back to bed. You were in bed. Got to get in 5 hours. Happy New Year to you, sir. Thank you for all your help this year. You've been very helpful. And hopefully I can do the same. This is you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. VECE. Oh, Doc, great. When you're ready, let me know. You sell hi-fi? Great. Yes. I'm closer than I think, but not as close as probably most people would be. Just because I like what I have so far. But hopefully I can lean up and ask you some questions when the time is right. Oh, no. Ole Miss messed up again. Oh, no. Here we go. See, this is what happened. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Lavelle is right. Wax over gear, because you can always get gear. You can always find gear. There's different. I mean, again, eye of the beholder. But can you find some of these rare records? The rare records they're drying up. Believe it or not, they're still out there. I love this saying. A friend of mine locally, Noel, has this great saying: "The records will find you," and he's so true. The records will find you. You just gotta have some patience. Obviously, I talked about the Radiohead miss. I'm still smarting, still licking my chops on that one. But you don't know what you don't know, and now I do. And so here we are. Anyway, 2 hours. 2 hours. I was only expecting to go about an hour. So I appreciate you guys letting me do story time. Appreciate all the support, Surface Noise on the channel. I love interacting with you guys, believe it or not. When we converse, not only in this forum, over on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And Joel was great. Joel was at Waterloo, and I was actually driving home from work one night. My phone starts blowing up. Joel's like, "Oh man, they got some Radiohead 45s," and so then, like, as soon as I get home, I'm like right in record mode. My wife's trying to talk to me, about the day and all this, and I'm like working with Joel on this stuff. So I had no idea that some of those 45s, the prices, insane, but pretty wild. Oh no, VK86. No, you didn't hear this. I predicted Ole Miss, but it sounds like it's going to be a big miss. Anyway, appreciate you, Henry. We just wrapped it up. Watch the replay. Hit that like button. Hit that dislike button. It's all good. Leave a review on Vinyl Community Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So I'm really going to start, probably do a piss poor job of that. I'm really going to lean on the folks to really help us out, because I really want to grow that this year. And oh yeah. Yeah, I got the Offspring gatefold. Yeah. Oh, you gave it to Jason? You said I was giving it to a friend. It was Rojas. If you would have said Rojas, so I got Rojas indirectly. I see what you did there, Joel. Come on, man. Funny, Brian. Impressive 2-hour show. Dropped a lot of knowledge and sharing. Hey, thank you, Brian. Again, I don't know what I don't know, but that's what this hobby is all about, man. Is getting together, fellowship, learning new things, learning the good and the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And oh, hang on a second. So the story. So this is a story, real quick. So Joel texted me Radiohead, either some 90s stuff, this Offspring one. So I was interested in the Offspring and maybe some Radiohead ones. And by the time, I was, again, I just got home, dragging my feet a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I may be interested in that Offspring one. I was like, oh, I've already bought it, and I'm going to give it to a friend. Okay. All good. Well, here we go. He was going to give it to him. But then Jason, see Rojas power played. You see this? You see what's happening here, folks? Rojas, he's pulling the strings. He's pulling the strings. Well, this will be perfect, guys. I appreciate the updated scores. I'm going to sign off. I will see you next week. Surface Noise, 8 o'clock Central. Be there, be square. Namas Nick and Bianco, 6:30 on Mondays. Check it out. BC Social Club, 8 o'clock-ish on Mondays. Check them out. And now I can go watch the rest of the game. We'll see if Hot Toddy can pull it off and make me look like Chance Stradamus. Now see, we're rubbing people's faces, Joel. Wonky sensitive. I'm sorry. you were a player for that one too. Anyway, all right. Appreciate you guys. Have a good. Let's have a good New Year. Let's do what the vinyl community should be doing and having fun. It should be fun. The record should be fun, and all the other stuff, all the other monotony. Let's leave it to other people to swim in those sewers, so to speak. Anyway, take care. Have a good New Year. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Oh.